Or good evening. Dr. Ruth Anderson here with Teri Angel for Enlightened World Network. We bring you a guided meditation every day of the year. And on Wednesdays, Teri and I bring meditation excavation. And that means we have no idea where this meditation is going. We simply go into meditation. We invite you to join us, and we share with you the things that we're experiencing. So it's an unusual, as we say, it's not your mama's meditation. So please just join us, snuggle in. Good morning, Teri. How are you?
Good morning, Ruth. It's so good to be with you this morning.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Okay, let's just take a deep breath. Get yourself comfortable in your chair. We're going to settle in. We're going to slow our thinking, slow our breathing. Really feel that chair under your seat. And feel those legs under the chair supporting your weight. Let's take a deep breath into that root chakra and really feel roots of energy going out through your root chakra, down your legs, out your feet, and down into Mother Gaia, just rooting you there. Just take a breath or two in that space, just feeling really grounded. I'm already feeling a sense of the divine. I'm feeling Archangel Michael, Divine Mother, Archangel Raphael, and Archangel Uriel. Interesting. So let's take a deep, slow breath into our third eye, which is right at your forehead. Just feel that expansion. We know that the archangels and Divine Mother have messages here for us today. We want to be open to receiving them. Now I'm being guided to our heart chakras. So take a deep, slow breath into your heart chakra. Just feel that expansion. I'm definitely seeing an emerald green, Archangel Raphael. And that space of love. Teri, would you acknowledge the archangels and whoever else might want to join in?
Indeed, they are so ready to come forward and just speak today. I feel Archangel Raphael and ask for him to present to everyone that's hearing these words. Raphael comes in with the energy of the air. So as you feel maybe a breeze where you're at, or just like something has come through to freshen the air. That's our wonderful Archangel Raphael, the angel of healing. And thank you, Raphael, for being present. Archangel Michael has surrounded us all with an energy bubble of protection, of guidance, of clearing anything that's not for our best and highest good. Michael comes in with the energy of fire. So whatever is not needed, whatever's being cleared away, it can go directly into that fire to be transmuted. Michael is standing strong and firm. So if you're feeling that strength right beside of you, just acknowledge Michael and say, thank you. Thank you for being here. And we go to Archangel Gabriel, and Gabriel comes in with water. And as I'm listening to the rain softly fall behind me, I'm just reminded that water cleanses. It makes us feel so fresh. It's so amazing. So Gabriel is bringing in clarity for us, helping us to see more clearly what's right before us. Thank you, Gabriel. And then Uriel is very, very present today. This is the autumn equinox. So Gabriel is helping us to feel into Mother Earth's energy with that change. It's all about the change that happens. We always have change in life. And when we go into a new season, there's a new energy that we feel into. And the beauty of autumn is really coming forward right now. Thank you, Uriel, for helping us to connect in with Mother Gaia. Any other angels that we're surrounded by? I'm just feeling legions of angels right now. So ready to usher in this energy today to help us connect in a beautiful way with our higher self. So right now, just take that breath and feel that connection going upward to your guidance system, which is your higher self, upward to Divine Mother, to the Christ consciousness, to the source of all that is, our Creator. I choose to call God. You can call whatever name that it works for you, that you're comfortable with. And let's just invite all of that energy into our hearts, directly to that center where we know who we are. We know that we are spirit inhabiting this human body. And let's just allow whatever comes through, whatever love they want to wrap you in, whatever message they want to give of clearing. Just hold that energy for a moment as we all do this connection together, because we are all one energy.
Teri, I am drawn to Archangel Uriel right now. When we work with the gems, Archangel Uriel is represented with the color brown, and brown helps to clear toxins and pollutants from our bodies, as well as from our constructs, our thinking. And I'm getting the color brown right now, as well as a tree. I know this has to do with where you are, with the leaves that are turning. This morning in meditation, I was given the phrase, spirit is spirit is spirit, whether in the 3D earthly realm or in the spirit realm. So I'm guessing that what we're talking about today is the changing of the colors, the changing of the seasons, the transition from life to death, even releasing constructs and beliefs that no longer serve us. That is a death of sorts, a transformation and a death of sorts.
It is, Ruth, and so interesting that you're feeling Uriel so strongly. Today we'll be doing the land blessing, which involves now putting our prayers into a prayer tie. And it's interesting that all the prayer ties going into the land today with our containing our prayers are wrapped in brown.
Mm.
And that was before this meditation, of course. So we're tapping into that energy that Uriel is bringing forth and wanting to be front and center for us all to connect in with the land, connect in with our beautiful planet. And yes, the trees are talking big time. They're really feeling that change that's happening, just like us humans experience change. The trees also feel that energy when their leaves are showing off, when they're becoming that beautiful color or colors, and they decorate the hills with that color. I'm feeling the energy of the tree spirits and how they are just so happy right now to be decorated. And if we took those moments when we're going through change to look at our own beauty that comes forth from the change, we'd be smiling ear to ear because we would see ourselves decorated in whatever change is coming in. I really am feeling that brown today, Ruth. That's amazing how it's all just coming forward. Even thinking about this rain that's coming down and the mud that's happening in the dirt and that deep brown color that's coming up from the earth.
They keep drawing my attention to the micro level of what's happening with the changing of the leaves and the mud. That's so funny you say that, Teri, because that's really where they had me, was in the mud. And it was looking at those bacteria and even the worms that not that worms are bacteria, but bacteria and worms and other crawling things that work in the mud, chew the mud, do whatever they do in the mud, live in the mud. I don't know what they do in the mud, but seeing the energy of movement, even in the mud, where we assume there is none, I'm not so sure there is none. So from the macro vision of the beautiful tree with the changing leaves to the micro vision of what's happening at the earthly level. I
was reminded yesterday, there was a quote by Chief Seattle, and I don't have it memorized, so I'll just kind of paraphrase, that when we look at the land, the ground that we walk on, remember that that is made up of the ashes of our loved ones, our ancestors. We're all returned to dust, and that dust covers our planet. So when we think about respecting Mother Earth, let's think about that as well, that every being who has ever existed here on our planet leaves a part of them behind when they go. And when we give honor to our Earth Mother, we're also honoring those that have been here, those that walked in a human body, those that made an impact and left a footprint here on Earth. And I love that thought. I love that we still have all of our ancestors here with us. We never really leave. We know that our spirit still remains here. And we're touched by those spirits when we feel into the energy of what was, and it still is. I love giving honor to Mother Earth in that way.
That's beautiful, Teri.
I was thinking of that when you were talking about the mud and what all is in that mud and what it consists of. And, you know, I've never looked at mud as beautiful before until I was reminded that, yeah, we're all leaving our bodies behind, and that's what's in the mud, our energy that was here.
So, Teri, you can help me with this one. So, what I'm seeing is when a body is in the ground and it's decomposing. Thank you, Spirit, for all the graphics this morning. But even the larvae and the creatures that help bodies to decompose. Why am I getting to see this? Well, I guess because they're alive too. Okay, so here's what I'm hearing. The energy of one feeds the energy. It's not feeds, it's like nourishes. The energy of one nourishes the energy of another. And that's, of course, a bigger version or bigger vision than the decomposing body, right? If we go,
Yes.
let's go bigger.
Interesting that someone earlier today brought up the thought we are not our bodies. And we talked about that this morning. So it's just so interesting that this is where we've been taken in this meditation today. It's like that was an intuitive thought that somebody had today. And then you're getting that same intuitive thought. So I think it's focusing on who we truly are. The reality that, these bodies don't last. They weren't built to last. Some keep these bodies around for 100 years or more, but for the most part, we do have that end date that we're no longer going to need these bodies. And we can be grateful for the time that we've lived in them and the lessons we've learned in them. But I think the real part of the matter is acknowledging that we just borrowed this flesh and bone suit for the lessons and the blessings while we're here walking on this earth plane. Focusing on that spirit self that the angels, guides, the masters, God, Christ, they're all helping us to understand more of our spiritual self.
Right. That reminder that spirit is spirit is spirit, regardless of what form it's in.
Yes. And each of those things that you mentioned, the larvae, everything that exists in the earth, it's all spirit as well. Everything is energy. And energy comes from God. It was created to be the way it is. It's perfect, just as it is. And there's nothing higher, nothing lower. There's no hierarchy. We're just all the same. We just look different in our different forms.
Well, and then I'm also seeing Teri coming out of that mud, a green, like a sprout, the new life. New life having been germinated, that's not the word, but brought up, nourished, brought up through all that is decayed around it. I mean, we do know that when the leaves are on the ground and, all of the decaying that goes around it, it creates a growth place. Growth place is not the right word, but like a nurturing nursery almost for something else to grow. Compost. That's what compost does.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's necessary. And yeah, we've talked many times about of what's just underneath the earth as we go into the cooler weather and into cold weather, and how that's necessary. It's necessary for that to happen so that in the spring we have the new growth. And that's true of our bodies and our minds as well. We need sometimes that downtime, that quiet time, that time to just be and not have to do. And that's what's happening, what's getting ready to happen. We can feel it. We can feel the energy already, the shift that happens with the equinox. We can feel everything preparing for that time. Even the people that live in the places where it gets cold in the wintertime, they're all preparing for it, even now. So we too can prepare ourselves for dormancy. We can prepare our minds by saying, today I'm going to meditate. Today I'm going to just sit and be and allow my mind to be fed by spirit, just like the ground is being fed by those leaves, by whatever is happening, the fruit falling off of the trees, whatever is becoming part of that compost on top of the ground. And then we know what's going to happen later on, that beautiful new life. And that's the comparison that we can make with ourselves going into our dormancy, into our meditation time, our quiet moments. We know what's going to come forth from that. It's beautiful.
And I think, Teri, sometimes we assume that if we're in a dormant stage, that nothing is happening, and nothing could be further from the truth. There is so much that's happening and being prepared. We are being made stronger. We are being taught lessons, all preparing us for when we come back out.
Beautiful. And so many times we get caught up in the chaos and in the spin of the world, and we don't take that time for ourselves. That time is our self-care. We have to take care of ourselves, not just the physical body, but also our minds and our spiritual body need that same self-care.
That phrase, Teri, to everything there is a season.
Purpose to everything under heaven.
Yeah.
I think that's where we find our purpose, isn't it, Ruth? When we go into the dormancy, when we go into the stillness, quieting our minds for just those few moments, not talking about secluding yourself for a winter, but just going in to that beautiful place inside of you, into your heart, and listening, just being still and listening. I love and appreciate Eckhart Tolle. I learned so much from him when he was teaching about stillness and how stillness speaks. And it's in those silent moments when we don't force ourselves to have to think about something or listen to something. That's when the stillness can really come in and help us to see the big picture and see our purpose, see our reason and our passion that we have inside of us.
So, Teri, we are being invited to have our own mud bath right now. And it's kind of like the healing pool, but it's a little bit different because it is going in and sitting in a mud bath that is the mud of your own soul's making. So if you've ever been to a place like Calistoga where they prepare volcanic ash mud bath and you sit in it and it's hot It's really hot, like sulfur hot spring kind of temperature. And you just sit in that hot mud and kind of soak in the nutrients from it. And that's what we are being invited to do, except the mud is your own, if that makes any sense at all. The stories of you, all that you've been through, all that you're going through, all that you've experienced, all that you think, all that you truly care about. So just see your own little bathtub, or however you want to see that, filled with all that is you. And just climb on in. And it can be whatever temperature you want it to be. The mud can be whatever thickness you want it to be. But that's what I'm hearing we're being asked to do. Your own little compost pit. Teri, can you feel your own mud bath there?
I can indeed. And it feels amazing and interesting because I'm sitting in an outside screened-in patio, and I knew that the little fairies were going to play a part in this today because they have been so present, and they're loving the idea of the mud bath, and they're loving it because they're jumping right in there with us and splashing around and helping us to enjoy, have fun, to lighten up. Because how many people would just intentionally go into mud? But that's what they want us to do, is enjoy it, be blessed by it.
Now remember that everything in that mud is part of you. Thoughts, perceptions, beliefs, passions, desires. As I'm sitting in my mud, I don't know, the visions are coming to my head of my mother, Linda Dirks. We were just dealing with my parents' ashes this last week. Linda Dirks, who we lost in July. So part of me is those who I have loved and lost, very present in my mud bath.
What feels warm? Like there's something heating it up and it's coming from underneath it.
I can feel that. So where is that heat coming from? What do you think, Teri?
I believe it's the crystalline center. I think right now, the full moon that has taken place, it's really created an energy, a beautiful rejuvenation of that crystalline center. And we're feeling that. We're feeling the warmth of Mother Earth as she's getting ready to go through the change for the winter time. I think that crystalline center is keeping everything nurtured and balanced so that we can feel the heat of Mother Earth. Our mother always knows what we need and always brings that to us. And us even seeing like little bubbles in the mud.
Well, and remember, as we're preparing to go into winter, our friends down under are preparing to go into summer. Mm-hmm. So that perfect balance. Yeah, I was seeing my heat source coming from Mother Gaia.
Yeah, and it's just a reminder that we have everything we need from our Earth Mother. We have everything we need to survive in these human bodies, whether that be the heat or food, and whatever it is, the water. Giving gratitude is so important when we think of our Earth planet. Giving gratitude for each moment that we're alive, for each footstep we take.
Teri, I'm seeing a faucet, and I turned it on, and it looks like clear water, which I have done this long enough to know it's not water. But pouring that in, it's lightening up the mud. And I'm hearing the words that that liquid is possibility.
Mm.
Opportunities.
Yeah, I feel like the only limits that we have are what we place on ourselves. The world is wide open to us, and we create what we want in the world.
And my tub is all clear now. I've soaked in all of the nutrients from my soul's mud bath, but I'm just sitting in pure possibility.
Yes. Possibility, love, and light.
Mhm.
Beautiful. And the rain picked up a little bit, and it just felt so fresh and so clean. Gratitude.
The ethereal mud bath. That didn't seem
Yes,
common.
I love it. I love it.
Interesting. Your soul's mud bath.
Mhm.
Teri, are you feeling different now than you were before we went into meditation?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I always do with these meditation excavation. And we really excavated today down into the mud. But yes, it's a shift emotionally when you go into whatever spirit brings to. I think I just froze.
You did, but I think we
Okay.
got it. You said it's a shift whenever we go into spirit. So
Yes.
yeah. Well, Teri, thank you so much for being here with me today. Friends, thank you for joining us. Teri in Vermont, me in Colorado, and heartfelt friends all over the globe. So much love to each and every one of you today. Anytime you want to return to your own spiritual mud bath, just come right back to this meditation. You can save it to yourself by just sending it to yourself in Facebook Messenger or putting it on your homepage. So much love to each and every one of you. Take good care and God bless. We'll see you soon.